Welcome everyone. How are you? My name is Vanessa Ventrini. I'm the program leader for Food Recovery for Rhode Island. I believe you guys are our sixth class ever. We are the brandy newest extension program here at the University of Rhode Island, and we are so happy to have you here. Tonight is going to be really fun, kind of like an intro to the course, getting you started, and then we'll be off to the races. If we have any issues with anything, don't worry about your computers right now. Let's just be present. We can close up our computers. We're going to do computer stuff at the very end, but for now, we're kind of like going to be in the moment. And I did a yoga class today, and if everybody wants to just enjoy this journey of learning. When's the last time you were sitting here as a student and there are no grades and you get to just explore and learn the things that you're interested in, because that's what adult education is all about. And our best volunteers are those that explore their passions and then share those with others. That is our main goal tonight, is to, and for this entire course, is to have you explore your own food system journey and go out there as passionate educators and help others. Who here has like a little bit of guilt when I even say the word food waste? I feel like it's just human nature to have guilt around it. And today I actually went and used the Food to Good to Go app for the first time. Has anybody heard of that? So please go grab some food from Borelli's. I think all of that was $5 or something. And I was like, wow, I think there's the opposite. When you actually use the surplus food and you reduce your waste, it's a joy that comes with it instead of that guilt. And that's what we want to share with others. So I'm really excited to have you involved in our course. Here's what we're going to do tonight. A little bit about the program. We're going to connect with each other and learn a little bit about the other folks in the course. We're going to show you our class website, and if it doesn't work now, I promise you we will get everything to work, because that's why we start this 2 weeks in advance. Woohoo! The couple master gardeners in the room, I also have coordinated that program for 13 years. My background is in environmental science and management, and I love food. I'm a foodie. I think everyone in this room can say that same thing. And so this has really become a passion area for me, because it connects my nerdy environmental side, and you guys are my people. We actually have a panel, so the folks who were there welcoming you in are all alumni who took the class in the past, and they're going to give you a little insight on their story and what they've done and learned. We're going to do an activity, so you're going to have to talk to each other. How annoying. And then we're going to even, if anybody hasn't signed into the class and brought a laptop or computer, oh, my bestie's here, hey. Hannah, we will do that at the very end, or you can leave early if you're tech savvy. So we like to start all of our programs with a land acknowledgement. The University of Rhode Island occupies the traditional stomping ground of the Narragansett Nation and the Niantic people. We honor and respect the enduring and continuing relationship between the Indigenous people and this land by teaching and learning more about their history and present-day communities, and by becoming stewards of the land we now too inhabit. And a lot of what we do falls under this top category of land stewardship. Like I said, we are the newest program of URI Cooperative Extension. We actually started with an EPA environmental education grant right as the pandemic was about to hit. Amanda, who you'll hear from in a moment, and I were in each other's little COVID bubble. And as I said, I've been a coordinator of the Master Gardener program, but there are many extension programs around water quality. 4-H is an extension program. So the whole idea here is that our land-grant universities, of which there's at least one in every state, URI is ours here in Rhode Island, have three main missions. It's not just teaching undergrads and doing research, but also extending all that amazing good knowledge, research-based knowledge out into the community. And so here are all of our various program areas, and here's where we kind of sit within the university, because now you guys are part of our extension team. We have a pretty new president who's pretty awesome. His wife has chickens right across the street on campus, which is very fun. Dr. Mark Perland is our president of the university, and then within the university there are different colleges and we are housed within the College of the Environment and Life Science, where I got my undergrad and grad degree and never left. And we have a brand new dean, the first female dean in the Cells College, Dean Vander Genst. And then we have an incredible associate dean of extension, Lisa Townsend, who believes so much in our program that I am now moving 100% into working with the Food Recovery for Rhode Island program. I could cry. After 13 years with Master Gardener and this. And so we'll be bringing someone else in to bring their energy, and we'll be growing this program not only here in Rhode Island, so you're here at a very exciting time, but also nationally. So we have our first pilot location in Washington State, Clallam County, where Twilight was set with all the vampires. And so we'll be piloting that, and we have 30 states interested in adopting our course in their area. So we just got to find the federal money that's everywhere. So our mission is, I can say this without looking, is to uplift community-led wasted food solutions. So we're going to get into a lot more detail over the next few weeks on what we mean by community-led wasted food solutions. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. And there's some food over here. There's water out there. And if you guys need to take care of yourselves and take a little break at any point, please do. You want a chair with a back? There's one over there too. Okay, so now the Amanda you've all been hearing about. I am pleased to welcome one of my best friends and work partners, Dr. Amanda Missimer, and I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for being here. This has been such really a joy. Vanessa and I met the first 3 months of my job, which started in fall of 2019. It was a brand new green professor, and I walked into her office, and before I knew it, we were writing a grant, and here we are 6 years later, right? And we are best friends in real life as well. I'm a clinical associate professor here at the university. I have a joint appointment in the Department of Nutrition and Cooperative Extension. So this is really the second half of my job where I get to programmatically work on things for the community. So in the community, I am the curriculum designer for this course. So everything in the curriculum and also all the research and evaluation falls under me as well, and the student supervision. As well as just being partners in crime for this, and who knows what we're always up to. You can find us thrifting. You can find us on Block Island. We're doing lots of stuff. My current community program that's also running is URI Free Farmers Market. So I don't know if anyone's familiar with that program. Lexi's been supporting us, and it's been coming out in the newsletter. So that's here on campus. It's every Thursday where we provide free produce to the students on campus. And on Wednesday, we harvest the produce from the farms on campus as well. So that's a volunteer opportunity if you live in the area. We'd love help immediately. Last week, we gave out 1,500 tomorrow. Yeah. Later tonight at the farm, 1,500 pounds of produce to over 250 students. So it's really been a great program. But that I also teach undergrad and graduate courses. Right now I'm teaching Nutrition 207 General Nutrition, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Edwards Auditorium. If anyone's trying to come, it's a really big class. Macy's taking my class. We have 300 students, so no one will look at you, but come on down. Learn about misinformation. I think that's all. Oh, and then I also have an appointment with FNEP, and we have one of our FNEP educators here, which is nutrition education for low-income families, and we are now the sole nutrition education for low-income family program, so really important work being done, and we're so pleased to have Aileen here with us. So I think those are all my hats, right? And I have an 8-pound poodle named Millie.
I was going to say, and Millie.
And Millie.
And I have like a kid, but
it's not as, Millie.
She's great. So this is the wonderful Macy, who's also involved in Free Farmers Market and is like our extension star. She's been involved in a lot of our programs, and I'll let you introduce yourself and tell them about your role.
Hello, everybody. Like she said, my name is Macy. I'm going to be your course TA. I'm a senior double major in plant sciences and sustainable agriculture and food systems. I'm very passionate about everything that we're going to be learning. My favorite type of food recovery is gleaning. I think it just encompasses all of the great qualities of farming and community, and everything. But please, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. My email is foodrecoveryri. So yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you, Maisie. And everybody who took a handout has her email. Hopefully, you've been getting emails from her. If you haven't, check your spam and then add that email, foodrecoveryri@gmail.com, to your inbox so that we are recognized, because we're going to do all of our communications through that and then through Brightspace Engage. So we are so excited to have Maisie, who was able to jump right in. She was a TA for Master Gardener last semester. And then we have 2 other alumni who will be helping us out. So anyone who chooses to learn more about food recovery in schools, share tables, recycling in the cafeteria, you are going to be mentored by Catherine and Kim, who are educators at Richmond Elementary and superstars when it comes to school food recovery. They're even getting the teachers in the cafeteria to adopt it, which they said is harder than the students, which is really interesting. Okay, so welcome. Like I said, you are now all part of our extension team, because this whole idea is that you are going to learn something and then teach others and encourage them to have good behaviors. And I just wanted to shout out that every year we have a different mix of people from different organizations, some people from community who have a lot of incredible skills that they can bring with them. But we have a lot of people who are involved professionally, and I'm realizing I forgot the Resilient Aquidneck Island organization here, but we have an FNEP educator, like we said before. We have people who volunteered with Rescuing Leftover Cuisine. We have our Farm to School coordinator for the state taking the course. We have a few folks from Sankofa, which hopefully are going on that field trip because it's my number one. We have the sustainability coordinator from Johnson in Wales. We have a lot of people who have intimate career knowledge on this topic. There's so much peer-to-peer education that goes on, that every class is different, and you're going to learn so much from each other. So I'm excited. Okay, and we hope that you're going to give a lot of time to learning, but we hope you get a lot back as well. Here are all the benefits that you get when you start volunteering in your community. Maybe you're already doing that, but when you pick up even more, that's kind of our goal here, is to get y'all to give back. And here's what you're going to get. You're going to, live longer, have lower stress levels, higher self-esteem, greater happiness and satisfaction. I mean, what more could you want? And hopefully really good food too. And we just wanted to make the point in the beginning of class that it's important for us to foster a really inclusive and safe and open, curious learning environment. And if that isn't happening, please tell us right away. Hi, yay. Welcome. Zero Waste Providence and Sankofa in the house. Master Gardener. Rhode Island's a small place, guys, and I am so glad to have y'all as part of this course. And thank you for carpooling. And so we welcome people from diverse backgrounds, encourage open dialogue, curiosity, learning, and growth. Not only are we going to be engaging with the broader community, but we're a community ourselves within our class and then within the broader alumni group. And it's a really cool group. If you're not comfortable coming to us, if anything happens, there is a bias form. We'll make sure it's on our Brightspace Engage website if it's not, where you can report a bias incident form. Oh, I just shouted you out and you weren't here, Rhode Island. Farm to school. Anyway, enough with that. So now a little more about the program. So you can see all of these shining faces. You're going to hear from Lexi in a moment, who's part of Free Farmers Market. Here was an event that we had at a brewery for, oh my God, what was that week called? No Wasted Food Week, whatever it was called, Food Waste Prevention Week. We had trivia, zero waste trivia. This is our canning class. We actually did the zero waste event for Newport Film. I had never been there, so you're gonna experience new things, hopefully, and meet some really cool people. But the whole idea with our program was to answer this question: how do we simultaneously address food waste, food insecurity, let's throw climate change in there for good measure, at both the household also known as consumer, and the community level. And so that is what you are going to explore through the next 6 plus 2. It's really 8-week course. Now you know the secret. 8-week course. Sorry. And we're going, we were like, well, there's too much in that week. We'll just do another add-on in the beginning. We'll do another add-on in the beginning. So hopefully you enjoy that. But we really structure the entire course, and maybe you can chat about this a little bit. What is this U-shaped?
Oh, let me just tell you. Let me let you know. Okay, so when I was originally designing this course, the EPA had come out with its first guidance about food waste, and it's called the Food Recovery Hierarchy. And if you've seen that, we miss it dearly. It will be incorporated into the course. But then in 2023, they updated it to the wasted food scale. So the course itself is loosely based on this, and this is the guidance of the EPA on how we should handle our food. So if we start at the top, these are the most preferred methods. So produce, buy, or serve only what is needed. Okay, that's really use what you buy. And then as we go down, we can see the preference of what to do with that food, then rescinds. So we see second best choice would be to donate the food or upcycle. I'm a huge upcycler at my house of making those leftovers new again. For donations, that's one of the community partners we have here. So working on gathering those seconds, those bakery seconds. Nana's is also a good bakery second, and redistribute it to people in need. Then our next one is to feed animals. So we do that down at Peckham Farm. My lab sends scraps down for the pigs. And we have a alumni who is a pig farmer who would love to collect your scraps.
And he is collecting them from one of the school districts now that he went through our course.
We're doing it, yes. Or you can leave it unharvested in the field. Now, who's surprised to see composting this far down? Yes, I always find that surprising to a lot of people, surprising to me too, because we think, oh, if I can't eat it, compost it. But you can see that compost is down because it still does generate greenhouse gas, although it is doing it in a much more efficient way than if it were in the landfill. So here we see that composting and anaerobic digestion are equivalent. Then next we have anaerobic digestion, again in different methods, and applying it back to the land. So again, that's taking the wasted food and sort of churning it back into the land with farming. And then our very last thing that we want to do, and I like this because they added it from the food recovery, especially living in the ocean state, is don't send it down the drain. Don't send it down the drain. Don't send it to the oceans. Don't send it to the landfill. And luckily, we do not incinerate in this state. So we don't have to worry about incineration as of now. So our first field trip will be to my favorite place in Rhode Island, the Johnston landfill. It truly is my favorite place, and you will see why, and we need to preserve it. I'm a huge preservation of the landfill. So this is what the course is loosely based off of, each one of these topics. You'll learn about each one of them and all the intricacies within them. So start to think about how you can do that. And the number one thing you can do when you watch the Life of a Strawberry video, get ready to cry, is think about that poor salad in the back that you bought that's not getting eaten. So think about these things when you're at the store. That's the first thing you can do this week.
Cool. And in addition to making changes at home, you're going to be doing that throughout the course. By following the wasted food scale, you're also going to be contributing to larger scale change. So, you learn a lot about all of these issues and challenges, and the world can feel really bleak. Well, we want this to be the other side of things. You're going to be contributing to large scale change at that community level. So all of our partners already had amazing community-led solutions that we are going to have you hop on board and support. And so we really borrowed this idea from the Master Gardener program, and there's like Master Naturalists, Master Food Volunteers. We didn't want to use the word master anymore for many reasons in 2025, so we called it Food Recovery for Rhode Island. But we are using this train the trainer idea where you're going to go through a course. The course is a hybrid where there's half online, where you're going to kind of go at your own pace, and half field experiences where you're going to learn hands-on. Then you receive a certificate of completion. It's a pass-fail course. And you go out and complete a 40-hour internship. And you're in turn, there's 58 people or so in the class. You're going to educate hundreds more. And so we have a very small staff here at the Cooperative Extension, and we've seen this work in a lot of other settings. Peer education works. People want to hear from people who have similar values or look like them or sound like them or have some connection to them in the community. So you're going to be out there as peer educators in the community. And here's our favorite video that we've only seen once or twice. Sorry if you've seen this before, but it's good. Food Recovery for Rhode Island is a program from URI Cooperative Extension that brings people together to learn something new. we are going to share and then we're going to share out. So if everybody can pair up, um, and you can also have groups of three if you already know somebody, maybe find somebody new. But I think one of the beautiful things about this program is that food brings us together. In fact, in other classes, we started like hanging out after and getting a drink or getting some food. So after our field session, so if anybody's interested in that, we can do some socializing. But yeah, let's talk about how food brings us together, get to know each other, talk about your name, city or town, and then share either a food that reminds you of childhood, holiday, or a special memory. Or you can talk a little bit about if there's some sort of like food preservation technique that you learned as a kid or from a family member. You know, what is your root in this? Or are you new to it? And what brings you to this class? So I'll give you all 3 minutes to get to know each other, and we'll have a few people share out. All right. Sorry to interrupt what looks like very good discussion. Sorry, y'all. Stephanie. What? Meat pies? Okay, who is like so excited to introduce their friend that they just made? Yes.
Hi, my name is Allison, and sitting next to me is Cynthia, who has a long term history of farming and has brought that into her own nuclear family and has a son at UVM who's studying plant biology and something else, right? And chemistry. And she's very, very passionate and excited about the conversations that she can have with him regarding this, too.
Want somebody over there?
Who's over here? Who's ready to share? Anyone? We're all friendly here, promise. Yes.
This is Tracy, and she's got roots in Providence, although commuted from Barrington today. And started with canning cucumber or pickling cucumbers, and went on from there. And in contrast to me, I didn't have many family friends or family members to teach me about food preservation. So it's always nice to have those kinds of friends in your life.
Thank you. Tracy, do you want to do your partner? Or do you just kind of do this? Okay, Daniel, do you want to do him? Yeah. Okay. I'm at the disadvantage now because he already kind of told. So this is Bob, and he's from North Kingstown, and he was talking just a little bit about not having a tradition, like a family tradition around cooking, because at the time his mom felt it was very empowering to be able to use those instant and packaged foods, and we were kind of reflecting on that. It's just like a cultural phenomenon, and canning is also kind of a cultural phenomenon. He lived in North Carolina near the Triangle, which I also kind of lived very close to where he was in Apex, and they did a lot of canning there. And then also that made me bring up that I lived in Oregon, and in Oregon they're very very much against food waste. So it's kind of interesting to see the different regional values around it.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. And actually, Lisa and I were talking about that. Who else is one generation away from canners? Like it got lost in one generation. Yeah, me too. My Grammy did all of the canning. She had a root cellar, everything. And then what am I doing? Buying Clausen's? How embarrassing. Okay.
Okay. So we have our new friend Chef Brie over here, who does cooking classes and preservation classes as well. And her favorite food memory was about her grandmother's meatloaf dish that she doesn't eat, but it's very fond memories of snapping the green beans and preparing everything with her family.
And you do something really cool with like food access, right? Can you tell me? I'm just so curious.
With a lot of stuff. Hi, everybody. My name is Chef Bree. I'm the owner of the Afro Indigenous Vegan in Providence. But I also am an urban farmer. I do a lot of work with Sankofa. My daughter and I, this is my daughter, I get to build my legacy with my legacy. How cool is that? But we also I teach a class, a food preservation class, and it's called Learn to Preserve with Chef Brie, a class that is about more than just food, because it is about more than just food. And if you attend, you realize like all the different things that we didn't know we needed as part of the class, because food preservation is about more than just pickling and canning. And I really despise, actually abhor, when people call it just that, because it's a lot more than that. It's about self-sustainability. It's about preserving cultures. It's about grounding, right? Because we're with the plants. But I also teach as part of that class how to grow things. So that's a huge part of the class, because we can learn how to preserve different things that we buy from the markets, but we don't know how these people are growing it. And just because it says organic, does that really mean it's organic? Exactly. We don't know. So the best thing for us to do is to learn how to grow our own food and to become self-sustainable. So then we have what we pickle and can has so much more value. We've seen the fruits of our labor, and I could go on and on. I don't want to take too much time from the class, but I do have testimonies from my students on how it also helps to heal you. So think about that. I really love to teach my classes intergenerational, so parents and children, aunts and uncles, grandparents and grandchildren, so on and so forth, because you get to build a legacy with the legacy. And I just try to model and live by example. So if anybody's interested in learning more about me, maybe at the break, catch me. Thanks.
Beautiful words, Chef Bree. Beautiful words. Thank you.
Looking all shy,
Yeah.
and then you stand up. Okay.
We love it. We love it.
Really glad to have you in class. Honored, honestly.
Are we doing more? Is that it?
I think that's it.
Oh,
I know it's fun. Oh, backwards. Oh, Amanda, tell us about
yes.
the course, please.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm happy to chat about the course. As we said, this course has gone through a lot of iterations. And here, Macy, I won't keep you up there. It's gone through a lot of iterations. When I designed this course, it was 2020. I was at Vanessa's house. She was in my pod. So I spent a lot of time at her house in the pandemic, and there were like scant resources. Like, literally, I think I had every possible resource in this course when it rolled out in 2021. And now we're having to become so selective because the resources have just boomed. So we're going to have an extra learning area on all of the Bright Space modules. If you want to dig into something deeper, that's what it's called, dig deeper. And they'll be there. But honestly, there's so much incredible stuff. And if you find something that we don't have, please send it over to us because we're constantly adding more. So the course in itself, as we mentioned, is 8 weeks, and then you have your volunteer internship. But as Vanessa will tell you, you can start volunteering today or tomorrow at the Free Farmers Market. If you'd like, we would love to have you as soon as possible, as would any of our community partners. So I designed this course originally like I do with a lot of my classes, so they do have measurable learning outcomes. And one of the things you're going to do in your first week is take your pre-knowledge survey. And why that's so meaningful to us is because then we can compare you to you and see how much your knowledge has grown from the beginning of this course to the end of this course. So you'll learn about the concepts and really broadly about the concepts from the governmental perspective, the federal perspective, and then it's all about Rhode Island. So we jump into what's going on in Rhode Island, which, spoiler alert, it's not great, but we're doing our best. And then after all of that, we dive into all the amazing work that's being done. So on top of understanding all those things, you're going to have your choice of your own skill that you're going to build out during this as you continue to build your knowledge. And we are having a project culmination. What are we calling it? Food Recovery Project? I thought we had okay. Anyway, at the end of the semester where you present all this individual work that you have been doing. So we're excited to see that. So the online education will open on Wednesdays. So you have Wednesday to Wednesday, so you don't have to be stressed over the weekend. And you can really work at it in your own pace. Like if I was a student in my own class, I would probably break it down. Maybe I'd like watch some of the videos like while I'm cooking. Please involve your families. Whenever I'm doing stuff at home, like my parents, if they're over, they're involved, or anybody, I'm like, watch this video with me. So you can do the videos. There is some light reading. It's not too much. Everything's kind of spaced out so you can work at your own pace. Each week is quite similar, so you'll kind of fall into the flow. Who our guest speakers are: URI Extension faculty, experts, and a lot of community experts. Really, Vanessa and I are the arbiters, or really just the holders of the experts. So we went out to find them to provide you with the information. The field experiences are complementary to what you learn. So that week's information will be complemented. And a lot of our field experiences are either a tour-based or a skill hands-on based. So we really offer both for almost every single one now. We have many, many field experiences. The requirement to pass the course is to attend 4, but we have, I don't know how many we have, 11 in total. So please do them. They're the most fun. And we have had so many social groups come out of this, which has been a blast. So on Wednesday morning, the new week will open, and that midnight, the assignments will technically be due. So do try to keep to this Wednesday to Wednesday cycle, only so you're on top of all your assignments, as well as making sure that you're prepared as best as you can be for the field experience to get the most out of it. Okay, so each week you will have a learning checkpoint, and that basically just says, hey, what do you remember for last week? And once you take that, it will open the new module where you'll learn new information, and that will be paired with the experience, and then you will have your own personal course project that you pick from one of our 3 tracks. Okay, so here's the grading breakdown. I'll put on my Dr. Missimer hat for this one. So we have the pre and post surveys. Again, is where you'll look at, and I'm happy to give you your results at the end of this. This is the program evaluation that I do for the research end of this. And we actually just presented some really interesting data at a conference showing that those individuals who started off in the food recovery field and those who did not actually ended up with the same levels of knowledge in each one of our 5 categories that we measure. So we're really excited about that, showing, yay, thank you, that we're able to provide so much information from amazing resources and experts in this course. So we measure that through these 2 surveys. Please be honest. There's no right or wrong answers. Be brutally honest. I'm down. Then we have our learning checkpoints, which will open the content for you, the field sessions, the fun part, and then your project. So you're going to basically blog every week what you're doing with your personal project, and then at the end, make a little presentation. Okay, now finally to the project. We have 3 tracks, so this is like a choose your own adventure. We have the kitchen track, the composting track, and the school track. Do more slides talk about this, or should I talk about it here? This is it. Okay. So the kitchen track was our first original track, and it's completely guided by chefs. And where's the JWU person in the house? We have a bunch of JWU chefs. Hey, we have a bunch of JWU chefs that came out of the woodwork to support us with this. We have one of our best friends, Allison Montford, friend of the course, Ends and Stems in here. We have chefs from URI. They guide you through all the stuff that you never knew about. Potatoes and onions, can they be next to each other? No, they cannot. So you'll do things like rearrange your pantry. You'll do things like batch cook. Everyone's going to do a waste audit. So that's really this personal kitchen thing. If you've wanted to get your kitchen in order for a long time and make it as efficient as possible for food recovery, this is your track. And so at the end, your project would be, this is all the things that I did, or this is a big project that I did. Now, composting is if you have always dreamed of composting, today is your day. Today is your day. So this is also done through a mentorship. So if you are a composting wizard, if composting is your life, you can sign up for volunteer hours to be a compost mentor. Then based on region, we partner the mentor with the dreamer. And we have people go to other people's houses. That's why we try to match you by area, and you will support that person. And then your end of the semester project is your compost, however you want to do it, progress and final product. And then lastly, in our schools track, this one is a little bit more abstract. So for this one, you're designing a food recovery project for a school. And that could be a school that you work with or a school that you want to work with. It doesn't necessarily need to be implemented, but it will be something around the school space, be it PTA, be it like a rec league, baseball, t-ball, whatever you want to do, as long as it's involving school and school age. Oh, you may.
The school one is cool. You can actually start volunteering and or working as an independent contractor with our partners, Rhode Island School Recycling Project. And you'll learn about them in that field session, but it's also in one of our Start Here modules. So you could talk about your journey starting to volunteer with this group that's now trying to reach every single, you're going to hear more from Lexi. We're in 300 right now. We are working to get towards 300 schools. We're in 52, and the whole idea is that you facilitate the starting of this new school where they use also the peer educator model, where the youth themselves are encouraging other kids to compost in the cafeteria or have a shared table or a shared refrigerator. It gives me goosebumps, the stuff we always should have done. It's so effective. It's incredible. Yes, Chef Bree. You know it. Yes. So um, you're going to have a couple, like a start here module and a week zero module. And there's a whole thing that's like choose your track. It's going to go into a little bit more depth, but it's going to give you a few example projects of like what other people did. So you can kind of visualize, that's for me, that's not for me. Some people are like, please let me do two, try and choose one. But we can always chat with you about that.
Were you asking about that at the field sessions?
Oh, is there going to be more detail?
There's more details about both. So there's a lot more details about the choose your track, and there's a lot more detail about all the field sessions as well.
Yeah, so hopefully you've chosen your field sessions, and we encourage you to add more on. If you'd like to do that, we can give you the guidance on how to. So just email Macy and we'll let you know. There is a little bit more room. Some of them are full. Yes. Probably like at least a week in advance. So let's write that down. So check on the wait list for our folks who are waitlisted. I know like the JWU one, we might need to add another session next year because it was sold out right away. So excited. This is the first year we're working with Wildcat Food Rescue. Anyway, so there's 11 different options. I think we started with 6. So we're up to 11, which is really exciting. And each one is amazing in its own right, but definitely go to Sankofa if you've never been there. It's like the most inspirational place. And yeah, if you need to switch a field session, because I know this happens every year, you're going to email Macy. If you have any question, you're going to email Macy, and she's going to get the answer for you and work with the team. But if you're unable to attend one, something comes up, we can move you into another as long as you're keeping that with that 4 minimum. But if you want to add another session, this is like your moment. We are letting alumni come back in, so in future years you could attend future ones, but this is like an opportunity. Don't let it pass you by. Okay. And you want to make sure you check off your name at each sign-in sheet, at each field session, that you get your little name badge and you give it back to us at the end because they're reusable. How cute. And that if you're posting on social media, you tag us because we like to engage our communities. Food Recovery 4RI. We also have a Facebook group if you're interested. And for carpooling, you kind of already saw how that worked this week, but we email whoever is interested in carpooling and try and group you by location. You kind of indicated that in registration, and then we let y'all coordinate from there. Oh, and guess what? If you complete the course with a passing grade, we give you another gift. So you get your food preservation book now. Enjoy. We're going to get into our pickling and canning plus at the end. But if when you're choosing your track, you're going to fill out a little survey, and you can tell us which of these will help you continue with your food recovery journey in the future. And we'll have a little gathering at the end and give you your prize. So another incentive for completing. And so now, without further ado, what is Brightspace Engage, our course website? Hopefully you all received an email this today that invited you to the course and said, here are your steps for getting in. There was a little video attached to that. There's a handout that you can have. We're not going to go into actually logging in for the first time, but we are going to give you a preview of what it'll look like. If you didn't get that email, who are you going to email and let them know? Woo!
Oh, I love that. Okay, so when we say Brightspace Engage, oh, this is on, right? Yeah. It's our learning management system. And basically what that means is it's like just a website that hosts courses. It's similar to Google Classroom. If you've used that before, or here at URI's campus, we use Brightspace. This is just the public facing version of that. So this is where the course is housed. And when you log in, you'll see this one here. And oh, sorry. Can you not? Is that better? Here, let me just use this. Okay, there we go. And so this is the little home page here, and then these are the modules. So each week you'll see a new module open again on Wednesday morning. So what's going to be open for you tonight is the Start Here module. And this is all of the information that we talked about tonight in much more detail. So we have all of the tabs here, and actually they just underwent like a huge change of how this is organized. So this is the module itself. And when you click on the arrow here, it expands all of the sub pieces to that week. So here is our overall module and also all of the assignments that are due by next Wednesday, 9/17 at midnight. So you'll complete the course survey. Everything is linked. Complete the introduce yourself discussion posts, our favorite. Follow along on Instagram, and most importantly, set up your email notifications so that you don't miss a thing. And the instructions are how to do that. If you'd like a checklist, we have one of those as well. But please note, we don't see the activities of the checklist. This is just for your internal use, but everything is listed there as well. And then if you want to watch our video for the 16th time, it is also here. What if we just put it on the top of every single page? Okay, so as you go through the modules, this is a video overview of Vanessa going over everything that happens in the start here. And we have the history of the course, cooperative extension. Again, Vanessa has gone through some of these things. Really incredible talk here from one of our pals at Penn State, Justine, about sort of the dark side of the land-grant university process. One of our past alumni was just interviewed, Dara. She's amazing on a podcast there. So you'll basically just click through the tabs, and we do have some educational material and a lot of just about how the course works and what to expect. So here's your syllabus and schedule. So the syllabus you've already seen, and the field session schedule with more information that Vanessa talked about is listed right here. Doesn't it look nice? Good job, Vanessa. That looks great. Here's our contact, but I believe you already know who you should contact at this point, but a little bit more about our favorite gleaning things, and then a super helpful document that we're always building on new student frequently asked questions, so do check that out if you have any questions, and then the link to the survey and the link to the introduce yourself post. So for the introduce yourself post, the reason we practice this now is one, we want to get to know you more, and two, because you're going to be using this tool for your personal project throughout the semester. So for this, you're going to go ahead and make a post, you're going to answer all these questions, and you're going to attach a photo. And once you can do all those things and you have those skills, you're ready to go for the project for the remainder of the semester. So that is what you'll see on Brightspace Engage. Oh, I'm sorry. And you will be replying to 2 people, at least 2 classmates. Okay. And so start to think about in advance if you have an interest in being a compost mentor. We're going to ask you that next week. If you're interested in which one of the tracks, and I would say in the next 24 to 48 hours, all that information about the tracks will be available as well. And I'll send out an announcement telling you that it's ready. Okay. Anything else to cover here? Sure. We can go over a little bit. Okay, so week 0 looks quite similar. I just have a couple more tweaks to do before I let it loose. And it'll always show the field sessions at the top and then the to-do lesson or the to-do list as follows. The checklist here. And actually this community discussion board is epic. This is where if you see anything, if you're doing anything, post about it because everyone else is going to be pumped. Can I tell you guys what's happening to me? Let me tell you. I'm doing curbside compost pickup, and I'm finally in a room with people who can be jazzed about this. Oh my God, thank you. So I'm doing the curbside Black Earth compost pickup. It's every 2 weeks. It's $20 a month, and it is phenomenal because you just put everything in there. Pizza got weird, it's going in there. Dog food got weird, it's going in there. It's amazing. I'm so pleased. Thank you for supporting me. If you're thinking about doing it, do it. It's so great because I just don't have enough to do a compost pile in the back. It's just me. It's not enough. This is perfect for me. Okay. Thank you for supporting me. Woo! Okay. So your Learn Content Week will look something like this. You have your learning objectives and then, get the tissues out. Oh man. Reading information as well as videos and graphs. So you can see, again, it is a lot of information, but you can move through it in parts and pieces. I think you'll really enjoy all the things that you see. Oh.
Don't do that.
Don't do what? Scroll?
Yeah. I mean, what?
Well, okay.
Is there something there? Am I supposed to understand what you're doing?
No, I'm just showing you this is where the information is. That's all. Yep. And not supposed to look, just seeing how it's laid out, getting a little feel for it, okay? And then you're also going to work on Get Connected, and Vanessa will talk a little bit about that, but that's where you'll log your volunteer hours. One more thing about each week is that you'll have experience tabs as well. So here's the tab of my favorite place in Rhode Island, and you can get a little bit more information about it prior to going to it, just so you're ready. And what I love about this one is they have this Ready, Set, Sort game. If you haven't played it yet, it's really fun. And actually, School Recycling Club made one similarly too. So again, just showing you the resources that are available, not only for you, but when you go out as a peer educator to talk to the public, you can make recommendations. Like you'll learn at the landfill that they offer virtual tours as well as in-person tours free of charge. Okay. Anything else on here? Okay, the only other thing that you'll need to check out on here will be the grades tab once everything starts coming in. Again, I'm expecting you'll all do quite well, but I do keep a close eye on the grades tab just to help anybody who's fallen behind. If you fall behind for any reason at all, reach out to us and we're happy to support you. Seriously, we are here. If you have anything come up, if you're traveling, we got you. Don't worry about it. Okay. All set? All right, back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so if you have any questions or if you want one of us to go over Brightspace with you because this is new to you, you can drop into our Brightspace Engaged Health Zoom session next week, and the link is in the syllabus. In the calendar, excuse me, in the calendar. We change everything every year. Okay, passing it on. Yeah. Yep. Yes, that's the open session. But if you need help before then, you can email Macy, and she can jump in a Zoom with you, or any of us can jump in a Zoom with you if she needs extra support. We got you. We got you.
Yeah, so you're encouraged over the next week. Try everything out. I think that's how you learn any kind of new tool. If you're new to online learning, take a deep breath. Like center yourself, get some coffee, get your favorite beverage, just enjoy it. It's going to be okay. You just got to get used to it like any kind of new thing and try it out. And if you need some extra help, you'll hop on that Zoom. If you're like off to the races, already ready to go, don't come to the Zoom. You don't need us. Okay, so phase 2 is your volunteer internship. We're going to go over this a lot in next week's module. So you're going to explore all the various projects. I kind of pulled out the ones that really are interested in help. But what we've done is partnered with a lot of amazing community organizations, like I said, that are they already have the solutions. They know their constituents, and you're going to help out and support their initiatives and maybe be up here representing them in the future. So there's food rescue, gleaning, there's composting, there's things to do from home to support our program. We hope you find a way, and I'm always excited to talk to you about connecting you with a good volunteer opportunity. You can start kind of exploring it over the next few weeks, and throughout the course, if you have any questions or in the future, I'm happy to connect you with volunteer opportunities. Yes? You can pick and choose, and I really highly suggest you pick and choose and find the volunteer opportunity that speaks to you and works with your schedule and your interests. So you could get 40 hours in one project, but you're probably going to get it in more than one. How about folks from Master Gardener? Do you do more than one or one? More than one, yeah. You end up doing more than one. You have a suggested 2 years to complete it in, and we would love for you to start by the end of the year. But really, this is all about encouraging you to stay involved. So, in fact, the learning doesn't end with our course. We keep you engaged through continuing sessions throughout the year. If you continue volunteering with us, you're going to get to stay involved with our community. So, it's kind of a beautiful thing. If you have an idea for a project that's not there, or an affiliated organization that you'd like us to connect with, I got a really easy email. If you remember my first name, it's vanessa@uri.edu, and it actually comes to my inbox, even though it looks different when you get it. Anyway, happy to chat with you about other future ideas. It has to be a project that reduces wasted food while improving food access, usually. Any questions? You've been good at asking them along the way. Okay, our panelists, get ready while we're doing these questions. Yes?
So I know that you said there were 3 tracks, and I know you said you wanted us to pick just one, but is there any way to get the information from the other tracks or get the...
Professor, Miss Emer- we can unlock multiple tracks if you really need to, but just choose one that you're going to do your project on.
Will say is everybody gets a taste of each track. That's actually really important. So everybody will get information on school nutrition. Everybody will get a whole week on compost, and everybody will get the first thing that we do as a whole class is a food waste audit. So you do get kitchen stuff at the beginning. So thank you. That was a really excellent question. The tracks just really allow you to dive deeper, but you will get the basic information for each one of them. Mm-hmm.
I know. I feel like we need a whole new module on like apps and cool stuff.
Yeah, I thought
We should add one.
Okay, we will.
We're going to work on. We'll keep building as we go.
As we do.
We can never stop. Can't stop. Won't stop. Okay. Okay. I'm so excited to invite if Michelle is feeling brave and wants to go first, or do you want Lexi to go first? Okay. We have the incredible Michelle Umpenhauer, who actually comes to us from, she did Master Naturalist, I believe, in Florida. Isn't that right? Before we got her back here in Rhode Island. Come on up. And she's going to give you a little overview of what it's been like sitting in your seat and then in class of 2022 when we were all online. But
Except I wasn't sitting in your seat because I started during COVID when we were completely online. So it was a little bit of a different experience. But so I think it was about 3 years ago I did the course. I was in the second course. My background was in culinary arts and food and beverage management. My passion was in the environment. I stumbled on this program and it combined those two passions so perfectly I had to get involved. So since then, I've done volunteering with Hope's Harvest and rescuing leftover cuisine. Most of my volunteering has actually been with the food recovery program itself. We're occasionally asked to set up green teams for events. We do the Land and Sea Conference with Rhode Island Land Trust, where we go in and we help sort the compostable products from the recycled, from the landfill. So I've headed up some of those efforts. This year we did Newport Film as well, a few of their movie nights out in Newport. They were awesome. And what else? Since then, that's led me, not as part of the program, to get involved with the Rhode Island Food Policy Council, which I'm just starting to learn about the whole legislative process and just starting to get involved with that, which is fascinating, especially in Rhode Island. But you'll really enjoy this, I think. You have a great group. There's a lot of really interesting people in the group. Enjoy it. Go to as many of the field trips as you can. They're great. And about what? Oh yeah, we're doing next week. South Kingstown asked us to do a tabling event at I think it's their employee wellness, health and wellness day. So we'll be there giving information about the program and about composting in general. So lots of great stuff going on. And Lexi's got all kinds of other stuff. So are you going to talk next? Okay. I'm around. I'm always around.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lexi. So, about me, I graduated in 2023 from the Food Recovery class. I've opened and remodeled grocery stores, pharmacies, retail stores, and farmers markets across 26 states. And I saw how much food we were throwing away. So, during the pandemic, I was like, I need to do something about this. So I found the food recovery class, took it, loved it, and now I'm working with the Rhode Island School Recycling Project after volunteering and completing my certificate. I have a huge passion about this program, philanthropy, and making sure the community is educated on these topics and are given good food to eat. So what did I learn? I loved going through the field experiences and meeting experts, finding resources within the community, either with food pantries, composting sites, and education on specific topics. Here I am at the farmer's market, which I'll be at tomorrow. I learned how to pickle and preserve fruits and vegetables, about food safety in the home, schools, restaurants, and grocery stores. I realized I was not practicing food safety at home. I was throwing a lot of food away, so the waste audit was awesome. Um, so I got to change my habits. There was a lot of career advancements and volunteer opportunities. And do you use anything you learned in this course now? I use everything that I learned in this course in my day to day life at home, farm, work, and even in my volunteering. It has become a huge passion of mine and legacy I get to share with future generations. And the students are so passionate about it. They want to make a change, and you can tell they have a lot of anxiety about climate change. In this photo, you see me on the farm at Franklin Farm in Cumberland, meeting John Mackey, the co founder of Whole Foods. I've opened 40 stores and remodeled them across the United States, so it was really awesome to meet him. Um, then I've gone to farmers market at the Brown University with Farm Fresh Rhode Island, and I attended different events throughout the community.
So you can see this whole experience is what you make of it. Is Nini still here, my dear? So Nini is an example of a Master Gardener volunteer from URI that took the course. And if you have any questions about how those two things really, just come and see me at some point and we'll chat about it. I didn't want to get into too much detail. But Nini Jacob, please share your experience.
Thank you. I think I was in the first class of the food recovery program. So, and I really enjoyed the class, and I was very fascinated by just the topic, food recovery of Rhode Island, and because I've always believed in not wasting food, because I come from India, and in India there are a lot of people who go hungry. So from the beginning, and even my mother, she didn't waste any food. She still doesn't waste any food. She always So I learned from her. Even like she'll make jam. If she take a fruit, she'll make jam from the fruit and then from the skin and from every part of the fruit. And she still does it. She's 93. I mean, she does it with help, but so this was a fascinating course, and I was partially retired at that time. Now I'm fully retired, so I took the course and I learned a lot from the course. And it says what surprised you. Thing that surprised me is that we went to the landfill first. I couldn't figure out why did we go to the landfill, but that was yeah, that was an experience, and that taught me a lot. I had no idea what the landfill was like. I think our kids had gone from school, so they knew what the landfill looked like, but I had never seen the landfill before. So that that's something that surprised me. And I do use things that I learned in the course, and I compost. I've always composted my own way. And I have a compost bin at the back, and I so that helped reduce my garbage. That's the first thing I learned, is that I have very little garbage because I compost. And we do get some compost from the back, but we use it sometimes. Sometimes we don't. But the point is that there's no garbage, so that helps. And so the volunteer um, opportunities that I did was I went to Hope Harvest. I did the gleaning, and that was a lot of fun. And the good thing, I live in North Kingstown, and actually there's a farm very close to our house. So I used to go there. We harvest, gleaned a lot of things. The most fun thing was corn, gleaning corn. And then if you taste that corn, oh my goodness, you'll never. If just right off the thing, it tastes so good because anything that's we used to take things that they throw away that couldn't be given to people. Even those were good. And so we would taste those, and it tastes so much different. And then there was squash and so kale and that what's her name at the farm in Kingston, Charlotte. Charlotte. She grew. I couldn't believe how much stuff she grew in that little farm. Rows and rows of kale and all the other vegetables. So that was kind of fun. And my my most passionate project was the rescuing leftover cuisine. So where again, like at the end of the day, they have this food that they can't use. So we give it most. The thing is, the only thing is most of it is pastry because I think otherwise, if it's cooked food, then there's no way to keep it from not going bad. So I think it's pastry. And I used to go to that donut shop in East Greenwich and pick up these bags, and that's what that picture is. A bag. They had like bags, and it's like 50, 60 pounds or 40, 50 pounds every time. And then I used to take it to the rescue mission in Providence. And they used to use it all because they had so many, I used to wonder who's going to eat all these donuts at the end of the day. But they were really good donuts. That it's not just like Dunkin' Donuts or anything, but it was really good quality that they made. I forget the name of the store in East Greenwich. I forget the name. All of a sudden, because what happened with that is after a couple of years or something, they stopped giving the donuts. I don't know why. So I'm kind of saddened by that because I used to enjoy going there, picking it up, and delivering the food. But I don't know why they stopped doing that. So I'm looking, and now there are not that many opportunities for rescuing cuisine. So somebody told who Michelle said that there's some new program. Okay, so I've got to look into that. And then there's also some Panera stores. Used to, if you have to pick up in Providence, that's the only thing, and that's kind of a long way to go. So, but that's another volunteer opportunity that I enjoyed with this course. So, and it was a lot of fun working with them, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm sure you'll have a great time at the course.
Thank you. So you see, you get what you put into the course, and afterwards staying engaged and giving back to the community and making the projects your own. Foodrecovery.org is our other new food rescue organization, so check them out if you are into that. And then we have a brand new partnership with Feed Rhode Island. You'll learn about all this. Okay, so now we'd like to do one more activity before we send you on our way. We have been doing this with various groups through the past 3 or 4 years. In fact, the resource that I'm going to show you kind of pulls together information from people throughout the country, but also folks from Rhode Island on this idea of what is inclusive community engagement and what are some tips so that we're not just going out into a community and I think the old way of extension was sort of being like, well, we're here from the university and we know what to tell you and here's your information. But how do we actually go out there and have two-way bi-directional relationships where we're learning from the folks that we're teaching and vice versa, and we're really catering our education to them and so on and so forth. And what we found is by having conversations in groups like this, we can really come up with the best resources rather than just hearing it from an academic or somebody from a university, because y'all have experience with this, either as someone who's gone out and educated or someone who has been on the receiving end or the other end as a community member. And so this is really that idea of reciprocal partnerships and kind of like in nature, symbiosis. So how do we develop these beautiful partnerships where we're both benefiting? Both parties. And how do we do that on behalf of the university when you come in and there's kind of that perception of, oh, well, you're here from URI, what does that mean? And so when we have these kinds of discussions, we like to start off with this really important topic, but sometimes things can get a little funky. So we like to start with community agreements to make sure we're having that safe learning environment by using I statements. Stories stay here, so and lessons leave with us. Trust, intent, and own impact. So owning unintended impacts in case that anything happens in a conversation. taking space and making space, meaning if you're talking a lot, make sure you step back so that the other folks in your group can chat, and then being present and practicing self care. So, this is going to be another little group chat. We'll give you 5 to 10 minutes to, again, talk in a group of 3 or 4 about what experiences have you had with community engagement and what have been your, positive ways of building trust, what works, and what should be avoided. There's a lot of knowledge to be gained from the peers, the other folks who are taking this course around you, and this will be one of our moments where we can do that. So we'll give you until 7:30. Let's break up into groups and have some discussions. Thank you. Mike, the resources there's all right. Good conversations going on. Hey, we're almost done. It's been a long night. Please take some food on your way out, by the way. Use the restrooms, get your water on your way out. Take care of yourselves. Hopefully, you made some new best friends. Who has some earth shattering or not earth shattering information to share with us? What's something that maybe you learned from someone else or something you shared? We love to kind of, what we're going to do is gather the information that you all are brave enough to share with us, and we're going to live type it onto this document that we've been pulling together, and you'll have access to this later in the course and be able to look at everything that we've compiled over the years, and we've really pulled some themes out in bold. Okay, so let me hear. Thanks, Ellie.
You're welcome. I just met Angus, and Angus had moved to the area like 3 months ago. 5 months, bad at math. And he is working at a restaurant, and he is looking already for ways to reduce waste.
Ooh, and I'm going to introduce you to Center for Ecotechnology. So there is a partner organization, right? If you are involved in a business, there's a partner organization that will come out and give you a free audit on all of the things that you can do at your business to reduce your waste. And they're incredible. And Amanda and I are going to get an award for our partner there. They're so good, but that's great. Samantha. Yes, Miss Lisa.
I'm Lisa. I think I learned from this great group about patience and listening when you're doing community work and kind of meeting people where they're at instead of just like what you were saying. Instead of forcing on them, just listening. Start with listening, and then finding out. We talked about finding opportunities where there's a need instead of bringing your own need.
So listening to determine what it is the community needs rather than, I have something to offer. Don't you want it? And both. It's both. Yeah, it could be both. I have something to offer. Don't you want it? But also, what do you need? There we go. Yes.
Cynthia gave us a really cool story about how in her work she had been kind of pushing for resident engagement, and her colleagues didn't necessarily fully get on board with that or know what that might look like, and she kept bringing it up again and again, and finally I heard that we got some good resident engagement ongoing. So I thought that was really exciting, kind of acknowledging who should be in the room or whose voices need to be a part of something, and sometimes even that acknowledgement, even when you feel like you're not making progress, is doing a lot, because then down the line you'll be able to actually get those people involved. And so I thought that was a cool, kind of inspiring story. And yeah, I thought everybody was bringing up really good things about just whose voices should be in the room, and then also too we talked a little bit about once you bring in people, how to actually effectively make sure that their voices are not only voiced but then are reflected in how you're interacting with them, whether that just be in your conversation or if there's a project or something, making sure that they see themselves in that and feel like they actually could contribute. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like a celebrity in our midst. Cynthia seems very wise. Does anybody want to grab the mic from back there? Back row, Carla.
From one middle-class white lady to a room with a lot of middle-class white ladies in it, I'm just going to be really frank. Try not to believe that you know more than the person you're talking to. You never know who you're going to learn from, and you want to build trust with people by listening and trusting that they have a lived experience and in and out of school, whatever that may be, to teach you as well. We talked about some other good stuff. Wait, what was one other thing we talked about? I'm brain farting, but you should have done.
Oh, just the idea that if you being really conscientious with when you make promises to when you promise to bring something to a community or to enact something, that you can follow through on it, because nothing hurts worse than promising someone that you will solve a problem and then
not doing it. So being really clear with where those promises and agreements lie.
Following through. That's good. Having the follow through. And that's what I think is so important about extension. We have that responsibility. We're here as that anchor institution, and we should be following through with the communities that we say we're going to work with. I'm just going to like slowly walk around and hope that someone raises their hand. I know you're shy.
Very shy individual. We talked, I think, so one of the things that we talked about was following through with the community. If you say you're going to do something, that's probably the most important way to build trust, is that people see that you're doing what you said you were going to do. But we also talked about asking a lot of questions and staying very curious as a mode of learning, and just shutting up and listening for quite a while before you bring any suggestions or anything to the table. So lots of curiosity.
Yeah, curiosity, learning about the community that you're working with first before you go in with the solutions. That's why we like to partner. It's like we'll be here all night. I know, but it's beautifully said.
Don't let perfect be the enemy of good enough.
Ooh.
Don't let perfect be the enemy of good enough. Progress is progress, no matter how small. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good enough.
And by the way, Carla is from Zero Waste Providence. If you're interested in community engagement, please check out her organization as you're reviewing, but also chat with her at some of the field sessions. There is a street team opportunity. I'm going to give you the mic for 1 second about that.
Currently, Zero Waste Providence has multiple contracts with the City of Providence to perform peer-to-peer outreach and education on the topics of community composting and also proper curbside recycling behavior. So there are opportunities to join me and my street team and get trained and go out door to door and interact with residents of Providence and invite them to participate in these processes that we know support a healthier environment and just better all-around outcomes. We got to participate in the society, right? We pay taxes. The city gives us bins. We got to put the right thing in the right bin. That's really what we're talking about.
Yes. Anybody over here haven't heard from this table at all? Ryan.
So both Maddie and I actually went to the same graduate program, and we specialize in community engagement. So that's fun. But one of the things we talk a lot about is being brave enough to get things wrong, and we do with, not for. So we work with the community. We don't work for the community. I work a lot with folks who have significant disabilities, so we never do things for them. We always do it alongside them, and that's kind of like a general principle that works really well. And we talk a lot about trying to be as inclusive and accessible as possible, but the reality is in almost every environment, there are limitations, and having to understand that there are limitations on resources, time, money, that some people will be left out, and having to kind of accept that and figure out what you can do to mitigate harm and what resources you can provide in that place.
Nothing for us without us. What is the?
It's oh my god, my mind just blinked. Not for us, but without it. Nothing for us without us, I believe, is the actual saying. But yeah. So yeah, it works really well.
What's your master's program?
We got our degree in public humanities. So any type of like front-facing public work in a nonprofit space. Brown.
I want to get that.
It doesn't really exist anymore. We call it our limited edition master's degree.
We had some Brown grads in the room. Anything over here? I used to babysit your husband. Rhode Island.
Rhode Island, so yes, born and raised. Taylor talked a little bit about her experience as VP and in the kind of the school um, environment, not taking anything personal. So yeah, kind of like letting some things go and talking about it, bringing them up, and then we got Lee talking a little bit about tabling events where be um, you may have some misconceptions that come to you, and maybe just transforming them into a way that is a little more easier to understand and to take away with you. So what do we got? So not taking anything personal and yeah, talking in terms of your recipient, I guess.
Yeah, you have to ask questions to see how to connect with that person, right?
Yes, that's better. Well said. Well said.
Thank you.
Anything that blew up in your face or failed? That happens to me in classes sometimes. And I think that's actually sometimes more helpful than what to do because we're also good advocates of what we should do. What hasn't worked? What should we avoid? Anything come to mind?
Just so hard.
Which is it is hard. And remembering that anything I try to remember anything you come at me with that you say that you do has to do with you. We are separate people. And yes, I'm in therapy.
We actually didn't get to the avoid one, but I would say this. Um, Being a woman of color from an urban community and like I didn't catch your name, Carla. Like Carla said about being in a room with a lot of middle aged white folks. Um, Check your privilege. You really have to learn how to check your privilege because I think that's what gets in a lot of way, and you can't build trust if you don't check your privilege. Um, and like a lot of people said, you have to listen and don't think that you're going to come there with all the experience because other people may have more lived experience than you. And I think that's where a lot of things, a lot of miscommunication happens because my lived experience is very different than your lived experience, and you cannot tell me what my lived experience is. So I think for working in communities that are different from you, then that's one thing that's really going to it's a little piece of knowledge that will, I promise you, will go a long way. So I just wanted to say that.
It's about being humble. Thank you. Says it right there, oddly. These same themes come up, but there's been some really, really great additions to this. So thank you for adding to our community knowledge, and you'll be able to check this out later. Oh, I love this class already. Every year is my favorite class. So we're going to email y'all with course updates. So make sure you set up those notifications or have your cat do it. We're also going to have you join our newsletter so you don't have to do anything, but you're going to start getting bi-weekly newsletters. So you can peruse those as they come up. To keep you engaged in our community that you're now a part of. So what's next? If you'd like a little extra time to log into Brightspace Engage together, I'm tired. If you're tired, come on, head home. But if you'd like to stick around, we can do that. But you have all been emailed, or you can email Macy and she'll forward it to you again. The instructions, and Amanda's got a stack of packets, so get that on your way out if you haven't logged into the course yet. And there's a little video of me walking you through the steps. That's all in your inbox. So you're going to do the Start Here module by the 17th or so, and then by the 25th, you'll do everything in week 0, and then you'll be ready to go for week 1. Yeah, man. Hopefully you're pumped. Lots to learn. Don't be overwhelmed. If there's something if you're feeling overwhelmed, just like skip it. I say that in my first little video. Like you can peruse, you can skim at your leisure. Okay. So thank you all so much for being here. Take some food on your way out, and we'll see you at the first field session. Thanks, Maggie. Well, take your name tags on the table on your way out, please. Name tags.